All right, another video. This one is on reflections and discussions. Reflections and discussions. You have 3 reflection assignments and 3 discussion assignments. Each of them are worth 1 point, but they're easy points. All you got to do is actually respond and you get a free point. Now why do I have these? Well, in the summer of COVID, 2020, TCU required all faculty to take an intensive course in how to teach online, which was a great idea. And I learned some things that caused me to change my classes. I say forever, who knows if I'm going to change them again in the future, but they made some big changes in my classes. And one of the things they really drove home was that when students are doing an online class, it's easy for them to drift away. I mean, when you're expected to show up in a classroom twice or 3 times a week, then you typically stay somewhat more engaged. But when being engaged means firing up your computer and reading stuff, it's real easy to put it off and drift away. So one of the things they suggested was to have reflections, to have times for students to check in with you and to send the instructor a personal note about how things are going and so forth. And I thought, that sounds kind of silly. It's a great idea. I tried it. I liked it so much that I kept it for the regular semester, right? It really has been extremely helpful. People will share things with me that they might not necessarily have told me in class about, troubles they're having at home or about issues with exam or whatever. It works great. So you guys have 3 reflections to do. And these are found, first of all, if you go to our webpage, see up there where it says activities, you're going to hit activities and then assignments, all right? Activities, and then see when it dropped down there, you see assignments. And the first things I have listed are the reflections. So when they are available, which will be 1 week before they are due, when they are available, you'll be able to click on that, and then there'll be a prompt asking you some sort of question, or in the case of the very first reflection, several questions. And then you can either type your answer in, or you can type it on a separate sheet of paper and upload it, whatever you want to do. But there's the very first reflection. And this is just to me. I'm just curious, what was your undergrad major? What were you hoping to learn from this class? Do you have any concerns about this semester? Anything else you'd like me to know? You can see when that one's due, January 16th, 11:59. March 6th, we're halfway through. How are things going, and do you have any concerns? And then April 17th, we're almost done. Any worries as we head into the last quiz and the final paper? All right, so. And as I tell my undergraduate classes, if you want to, you can just write, go to hell, Harvey, mind your own business. Full credit, all right? I just want you to check in with me. If you check in with me and answer this, that's great. But just checking in with me is worth a point. Now, not only do you lose having an online course the opportunity to interact with your instructor in a realistic way other than through this screen right here and through this video here, but also with your classmates. So I have in parallel with the reflections, discussions that you will post, and others will be able to respond to what you have to say throughout the semester. Now let me first show you where you find those. Let me go back to content. I always go back to content. I always hit content here in the top. There it is. And that's my starting point. And now I'm going to go to activities again, just as I did last time, but activities and discussions this time, not activities and assignments. And so what you will find is, here are all 3 discussions. And they actually won't show up until, I don't know. I don't know if they do actually show up or not, but you won't be able to answer them until a week before they are due. And so here's discussion number 1. And what you will do is, and I've never done discussions before. I've done reflections, I've never done discussion before. So I'm not entirely sure how this works, but we'll find out. But discussion 1 is due at the same time as reflection 1. And what it says is, let's see, up here. Welcome to the class. Please use this opportunity to tell your classmates a little something about yourself. If there's something you don't feel comfortable answering, then ignore that question. Where'd you go to college, undergrad? What was your major? Why are you at TCU now? Anything else you'd like to share about yourself? So you post that by January 16th, and then you have a week to go in and read what everybody else said and comment on, what if I should have made that on at least 3 other people's? I don't know. Anyway, right now it just says 1 other person's, all right? So spend your time studying. But if you want to comment on everybody's, go ahead and comment on everybody's, whatever you want to do. All right, discussion number 2, which will be due on March 6th. And focus, there it is. We're about halfway done. What have you learned so far that surprised you? And then that's due on March 6th, and then on March 13th, you comment on at least 1 other person's. And then almost done, what's a topic that you wish we had discussed, but we did not? I'll use this info to revise the course for next time I teach it. And then that's April 17th, and then you comment on April 24th. Again, I'm not entirely sure how that works. I think we're going to have, what we'll do during the semester is, as you probably already know from the video I haven't made yet, and that is the one that introduces the whole course, is that I'll have to give you a little update every week to show you where we stand and what you should do next. But otherwise, that's it. So each one of those is worth, there's 6 altogether, 3 reflections, 3 discussions, each worth 1 point, free points added on to your final course grade we have a total of 128 points, and those are 6 of those 128. Don't miss that. There's a high correlation in my undergraduate classes between people who don't do all the reflections and people who fail. And it's because they're not paying attention. Anyway, see you next time.